Hi everybody, my name is Jervis. I'm Ghanaian. I was born in Ghana, but now I'm living in Canada with my wife and my little daughter. And so in 2018, I was part of the team that visited Uganda. We partner with iTeams Canada and their Impact Uganda program that focuses on supporting vulnerable children and building up Christian leaders to transform their communities. And so the first part of our trip was to visit Jinja Connections. And this is an organization that works to feed and teach and reunite children on the streets with their families. And it was an interesting journey for me because it was on that trip that I met a boy that would actually change my heart towards street children. He would come to me, he was very conspicuous. He'd come to me, hit me, run away, almost like testing boundaries, and then he would come close, hold my hands for a few minutes and then run off. And then he walked to me, give me this strange look, and then ran off. And I was like, I love this kid, I really love this guy. And then my attention was locked on him, obviously, and he looked like this little boy that wanted, friends, and he was holding this plastic thing. Later on, I was like, airplane fuel that he was sniffing. He was actually addicted to that drug. And I think that was like a coping mechanism for him to deal with the stress of a little boy living on the street, who can't turn to mommy or daddy, but to this little bottle that gives him a temporal taste of the recline of a home, offering very temporary relief for what he needs in the long term, a home, a lasting home. And I felt, God, how can I be home to this little boy, even if it's this short time? I was disarmed. His touch disarmed me. He would grab my hand tight, hold it close, and I felt I was offering to him a little taste of home, because he was surprised. I wouldn't, hit him back or shout on him or maybe give him names. And for him, he felt at home holding my hand. And when I would hug him, he would look at me surprised that somebody would hug him, because he was apparently dirty and smelly, but I didn't care. So he stuck close for the whole walk, and then he followed us back to the Jinja Connection's home, and he actually stayed with us during the class. He sat there, listened, and then when I turned again to look at Ojororo, he was asleep. And I remember thinking, wow, he must feel very comfortable to be asleep right now. After he woke up, we went on the games on the field, and we had some games and played together. And he said something that really touched my heart, that actually spurred me to write this song. I had started the song, but it gave me lyrics, it gave me content, it gave me inspiration for the song. He looked at me and asked me if I could take him home with me. Home. He wanted to go home with me. It was very difficult for me at that moment to know what to say to a little boy who looks up at me and asks to go home with me. But then I kind of looked back surprised, and I was like, why? That was the first thing I could think about. And he's like, because I have no mommy or daddy, I have no home. And I realized how important home is. It provides roots, identity, security, a place of belonging, a place of emotional well-being, more than the brick and mortar of an edifice. Home is a place designed for us to make our first tentative steps of infancy, a place of support, it's a place of training, it's a place where we recline our bodies, souls, feet after a long day's work. It's a place we can gladly offload our burdens after we've had long days of interaction with the complexities of the outside world. And I remember driving back on the plane back to Canada and realizing that I didn't know his name. But then it struck me, God knows his name. And that's really what inspired the song. It was a very uncomfortable yet inspiring, heartbreaking and powerful experience I had. And I'm asking that Jesus begins to stir in your heart what it means for us to be engaged in helping people like Ojororo. I wrote the song because he touched my heart, and I began to think about the fact that God knows him even though I didn't know his name. He knows your name. God knows your name. That's the title of the song. And I'm asking you to join me to rally support for people like Ojororo. And it's a very momentous moment for all of us right now with what's happening globally with this crisis, this COVID-19 crisis. There's a lot of people who don't have homes to recline in, to quarantine, and they are exposed. In which ways is God calling the church, calling you to be home for somebody like Ojororo? And I'm hoping this helps you begin to think of creative ways, safe and creative ways, to be able to help people.
A huge thank you to all who helped us reach our goal. We were able to raise $2,000 for Jinja Connection in Uganda. And you can still support the kids at Jinja Connections today. Click the link in the chat to find out more or check out the description. Thanks so much.